Today I'm building a brand new bike, and it's a bike and a style of bike I've never really built or worked towards. So if you remember, I went to Revolution Bike Park with Ben and Jamie and we rode the Vision line, and I ended up jumping on Ben's bike, which is a 27.5-inch little trail bike. Ben's is size large, and I honestly loved it. It just felt so good. It was like scaling back down to a slopestyle bike or something like that. A feeling I haven't had for years. On the smaller wheels, the smaller frame, the shorter travel. I ended up doing backflips and 360s, which felt like the best enduro bike tricks I've done in forever. And I definitely said in that video I'm going to build one, and today I'm building one. So this is my Marin Rift Zone 27.5. The same frame as Ben, just a different colour, but it's a medium. Ben's is a large. This is going to be the smallest bike I own, definitely, with the smaller wheels. All the bikes I tend to ride are large because I like the stability, the platform that comes from riding a bigger bike when you're riding steep stuff. This bike is a concept I've never really built towards, and that's just a bike that's going to be unstable almost, and for tricks. So I'm going to be too big for this bike. I want to be able to do my slopestyle tricks at the downhill bike parks. I want to go to Dovey Revs, do the tricks I do on my hardtail, on my dirt jump bike, on like a park jib bike. So we're going to go single speed, we're going short travel, we're going to swap out for Öhlins, we're going to put all my kind of best bits on this bike, and to do so I'm actually just going to harvest the parts from the legendary San Quentin hardtail, which is a sad day, but it's not, because the last couple of weeks I've been walking past my old... If you've been watching the channel for a while, a couple of years, you'll remember the Dream hardtail build. I did a Galaxy themed custom hardtail, which is just mega. And what a shame that that's not the hardtail I ride. I don't know why it became parked and shelved. I want to bring it back. So I'm going to free up the parts from this. It's got the right size wheels, the right size fork, epic Öhlins fork. We're going to swap this rear shock, one that comes on the frame, that nice Fox one, for an Öhlins air shock, which is going to be sick. So this is going to be a trick park bike. Like I said, single speed, 2 brakes. We'll try and make it so I can do bar spins on it. Don't know whether I'll put the dropper on it. Do I need a dropper post for a single speed bike? We'll decide later. So I'm going to start the build right now. It should be a quick one, and we're going to go and ride it in this video. But the reason I've come to Brink to build this bike, other than the epic workshop and all the people that know so much more than me, is they're super well set up as a Marin bikes dealer. Brink have loads of stock right now. It's just come in of e-bikes, the Alpine Trails, all the 29 epic bikes that I've loved and I ride. They're right here right now, which is amazing to see in the shop that I've worked with for years now. All the bikes I ride are in. So if you're local, come in. The shop looks amazing, as you can see. And if not, just ring up and inquire. So let's start this build. Start with the cranks, titanium cranks. The Cane Creek Hellbender bottom bracket, where they went to a sausage factory and asked them, what's your best bearing? And took that bearing and put it in a bottom bracket. It's a true story. Can you think of a better, it's actually a true story. I didn't believe it either. Can you think of a better place in the world to source high functioning bearings better than a sausage factory where they're spinning meat? Doing it the right way. God, car mechanics have patience, don't they? Just all day. Done. Off to a good start with the most epic cranks known to man. The Cane Creek E-Wings titanium cranks. But the start comes to a halt. A ceasefire.
Oh.
When you see the chain ring that's come off the San Quentin.
The only saving grace is
terrible.
that it matches your hoodie really well.
Which is irrelevant. I'm actually going to build it up like that now. I haven't got any others. I've got a couple at home. Oh dear. We're going to have to see past that. What colour should I go for? Blue or black?
Black.
Black. Alright, you'll have to imagine that's black for this build. But yeah, these cranks are amazing. These are 170mm long. I run 165s on my jump bike, 170 long on all my other bikes. I've never run 175 cranks. It feels like I'm spreading my legs on a spirit level. But this will look good. Just not that. See past that. We can all do it. I can see things differently. This is always so much easier to take parts off another bike because the fork steerer tube is already cut down. Already the right length because these head tubes are the same length. The bars are cut down, so this is the Öhlins RXF 36 M2 fork, which is a mouthful, but most people just call it the M2. It's got 36mm stanchions. It's really, really light, but essentially they're racing products, aren't they? I'm putting racing products on my Jib Park bike, which I love. And we're going to do the shocks soon to match. Like I've done on a lot of bikes, we swapped the decals. This one didn't match, but I mean, it's actually only a recent thing. I did it on my Alpine Trail Carbon, and recently did it on a new dirt jump bike build that you guys haven't seen yet, but there's a new one coming. So we'll have to swap those. I'll order some of those. Again, the chainring's thrown me off, that's thrown me off. The biggest colour scheme on this bike is the blue, like the seals, all the Öhlins stuff. It's actually pronounced Öhlins. A lot of people correct me on that, but I don't know, there's a lot of words you say in French, Ben, which I can't be bothered with. Like, écureuil, squirrel.
Yeah, well done.
Did I get it
mate.
right?
Yeah.
That looks good, doesn't it? This is a 40mm gusset S2 stem, which means 40mm long. I might go to a slightly shorter one. The shortest they do is 33mm, which is insane. And 7mm doesn't always sound like a lot, but actually reducing that kind of length of stem will bring my weight back in line with the steerer tube. And I think for doing bar spins and tail whips on this, that's the plan, isn't it? I want to do all those tricks on a kind of slope styley enduro bike. So a shorter stem I'll probably do. And the bars I've cut down to 750mm wide, which is much narrower than a lot of people. A lot of handlebars come at 800mm wide, and some people don't even cut them down. Like Jamie's Alcatraz, he's left his bars full width.
They're huge.
I don't know why. He's a big lad, but it's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like holding a broomstick. That already looks really cool. What should I do now? The wheels? No, let's do the rear shock. Let's do the rear shocks to actually tie it all in and make it match. There's plenty of stock of these at Brink right now. A lot of people are building up custom bikes here with Öhlins stuff in 29 and 27.5. I've got a lot of shocks. So in terms of rear shock, I've gone for an Öhlins TTX Air Shock, which for me, I mean, it was actually a no-brainer. Often you kind of and ah whether you're going to go with an air shock or a coil. Coils look great. You get the yellow Öhlins coil spring. But an air shock is always poppier. A coil, you can make more planted, it's more supple, which is better for like that small bump sensitivity and all the kind of, it's a downhill product, isn't it, a coil shock. An air shock, for this bike, I want to be doing all my tricks, taking off, going high, popping, doing whips, has to be an air shock. But bear in mind, the airs and the coils all use the same damper technology. They're not better or worse. This is just more suited to this. And will look fantastic, won't it?
Yep, very nice.
We'll sort the decals on that too. The bodge job continues mostly with colours. So I've put both wheels on. These are the Halo Vortex wheels. The orange decals off the San Quentin work perfectly again, but look, we're getting into this absolute clown themed thing, which Steve, who works here, has just come in and said, surely if you're building kind of a slope Duro park bike that's a bit wacky and jibby and fun, you need it to look the part, but no. That's going to be black. We'll swap these out for maybe blue or pink. Rear wheels got different colour decals. I put Conti de Kaiser tyres on, which are a heavy duty tyre. They're proper downhill tyre, and I like that. I could have gone with a lightweight slick, almost like a dirt jump tyre, but that's going to defeat the object because I want to be able to take this to Wales, so all those proper bike parks, rail the turns to get enough speed for the big jumps, not compromise there, but then when I actually hit that takeoff, feel like I'm on a slope Duro. That's the new name for it. So, single speed, I've never run a single speed full suspension bike, and it's not as simple as a hardtail where you just run the chain from the front to the back. You still need a derailleur or a single speed conversion kit, because when this swing arm moves on a full suspension bike, the chain length changes. So if you put a tight chain around there and around the rear sprocket, it would snap. Like it can't physically get longer, or some bikes get shorter. So you need a single speed conversion kit, which we're going to do shortly. Some of the staff are here now to help me. I'm going to stick with a 32 tooth front chainring, although I'm changing the colour. I'm going to go with the size. Now on my dirt jump bike, I run a 13 tooth rear sprocket, rear cog. It's 32-13. To work out mechanical advantage with gearing, you do driven divided by driver. So the mechanical advantage would be 13 divided by 32. And I want to match that on this bike for it to feel the same, but I've got a 27.5 inch rear wheel, not a 26 inch wheel. So there's like a third gear in the train. So because I'm driving a bigger gear that touches the floor, I don't need to do as much work to make myself go as far, so I'm going to make that bigger too and make it slightly easier. So I'm going to go with a 32-14, not a 32-13. Hear that super drive hub? It's going to sound good when I'm doing log slides and drift machine. Oh, and I put a pivotal post on it. I decided not to go with a dropper. The San Quentin's got the P&W one with the loam lever, which all looks very nice, and you've heard, oh, it feels good. But it would be too much kind of faff on a bike that's not built for that. So I'm going to fixed height with a pivotal, and I'm going to put a pivotal dirt jump seat on it. So it's going to be a real playful bike. And obviously I've put the shock on since I said about it, it looks amazing. So, I don't think you guys need to watch any of the rest of the process. I'm going to do the single speed conversion, route the back brake through the frame. I'm going to try to route the front brake hose through the top cap and through the frame and out of there. That's how you make these bikes bar spinnable, so the cable doesn't have to wrap around the frame because it's going through the centre. So that's going to be quite cool. So I'm going to do that, then I'm going to swap the stickers, swap the chain ring, and you guys are going to check in at a jump spot or a trail spot. Let's go ride this thing. Could even take it to the airbag, Ben. You wanted to 3 your enduro bike, don't you? Sorry for the bodge build, but let's take it out riding. That's the whole point. Here we go. She's built. This is the Slope Duro machine. It needs a name that's better than Slope Duro. That one's been played. I absolutely love it. It's really, really lightweight. The guys at Brink have actually made it into more of a slopestyle enduro bike than I planned. They've taken the coil out of the Öhlins coil fork and put a really, really heavy spring in there, so they feel epic. They ramp up really fast. They're like a dirt jump fork, really. And kind of what I kept explaining to them is, I own an enduro bike. I'm really lucky. If I want to go on an enduro bike ride with a nice, supple, soft bike, I own one. This is absolutely not that. Look, we didn't put a dropper post on it. We swerved the P&W dropper post because, again, it's single speed. I'm never going to pedal up a hill. I'm going to push this thing. So I've gone with a Pivotal saddle, and this is a brand new signature one. This is going to be my new signature Pivotal saddle from Gusset, which actually doesn't match this bike, which made me laugh. It's been designed to match another Marin bike which is arriving and launching very soon, which is the one I'm most excited about, and most of you will be most excited about, but there we are. I've put on the Halo Vortex wheels, you know that, but look, I've swapped all the decals and it's looking much less like a circus clown bike. So I've gone for blue Halo decals to kind of match the frame. The Hellfair Dybro kit, again on this bike, looks spectacular. I've not had it on a blue top tube. And it's quite funny, you know my Alcatraz has the blue to pink fade, it goes the other way. So on this, on the Rift Zone 27.5, it runs the other way. So it's a bit confusing because the Hellfair Dybro looks completely different. Now, you remember I said I was going to absolutely put an absolute black chainring on it? Absolutely black. It's not, is it? I've gone with titanium kind of grey, which matches the crank better. That is better. The chain, the ring, the cranks, that all looks really trick, and it's oval, which makes no sense, but at least I finally got a single speed oval setup with a rear mech to take a bit of that chain slack out. And this is the single speed setup we did. We absolutely bodged it. Well, I didn't. The Brink boys bodged it with a whole drawer full of spacers. I've got 32, 14 as described, and then I've used this really, really short mech. So that was a normal size rear mech, and Will's actually cut the cage in half with a saw, drilled a new hole to make it really, really short. So that looks good, doesn't it? It looks, I like the word trick. It looks stealth, subtle, effective. The whole bike looks amazing. I've got Shimano XT brakes. The rear one does a proper dirt jump spiral there and isn't routed through the frame, it goes externally. I don't need a shifter, I don't need a dropper lever, it's proper clean cockpit. The one modification remaining that I'll need really soon to do more tricks is to route the front brake hose through the Gusset Top Cat. Now Gusset make one of those ones that actually runs all the way through there, out the head tube. Then you can do bar spins, because with the back brake you can do it, but look, the front brake ends up knotting around the frame, which is a disaster. So, I've talked enough about this build. You want to know what I'm going to do on it. It's a trick slopestyle bike, so to use this bike properly, I'm going to go to Dovey Bike Park in about 10 days, Revolution Bike Park next week, so some proper big jumps. I want to launch it, whip it, flip it, 360 it. But right now I'm going to test it, all the firm suspension, see how it feels on my airbag. Because I want to do backflips, 360s on it, tricks I've never really been able to enjoy or exploit on a full suspension bike. I now get to do just that, so I feel lucky. This is a sick bike. I cut the bars down real narrow, they're only 730mm wide. So when I can do bar spins and tail whips, when that's routed through there, it's going to feel like I'm dropping into Crankworks all over again, except I'm not yet. I intend to be back. What do you think of this bike then?
I love it, mate.
The Slope Duro.
Very cool.
The jib machine. It's actually just been built to slide along wet logs this winter and probably not leave the ground. But let's make it get some air. Feels sick. It feels big and burly, but it's got all the like playful attributes of a jump bike. And the gear ratio's sick. Woo! Poppy. Yeah, this is what you need, Ben. What's this?
No! No!
Oh, pretty good though.
That was
Maybe
impressive.
This is going to be my future right here. It's the best one I've almost ever done. I'm going to do a suicide no-hander.
Nice.
Like that. Dick! There's been whispers and murmurs in the rumour mill of an impending handrail, which hasn't happened yet though, but I will at some point, eh? With this Slope Duro bike, slightly heavier than my jump bike, I'm not a complete lunatic. Oh, it's got a high saddle. Right, will it hit if I drop in? Let's see, does the chainring hit? Just. So the chainring does hit, which means I have to hop in. I hope they've done the bolts up for me. And hop in. Woo! They're on! Oh, wow! Oh!
Oh! Squiggly!
The seat wasn't where I expected, so I didn't even squeeze it. I'm going to do a proper one. That was a rubbish first effort. Actually sad. You do have to really pump though, these big tyres. Coming! Woo!
Nice.
The jib machine, I can fake it!
Oh! No way.
I'm gonna call it the fakie machine. Let's travel the length of the nation and just fakie everything.
Nice. Do 3.
All right. It feels really like supportive and firm.
Yeah.
Feels nothing like an enduro bike. So the guys at Plush at Brink have set it up like brilliantly for what I want to do.
Right.
It's a dip 360. Oh, this is gonna be a belter, a rip snorter, Bobby Dazzler. Yes! Watch this fakie. No way. Oh my god! I can fakie again! Woo! I just did another completely dialed fakie all the way to the quarter pipe.
Really?
Yeah?
I don't believe
I'm
that.
happier about that than the big 360.
I'll have to check the GoPro footage.
I promise it was a good one.
That looked cool.
Feels really good. It didn't stay dipped like it would on a jump bike.
No.
I'm going to try even harder now and keep it nose down. 27.5-inch wheels do feel pretty mega.
Oh yeah, I guess you're not used to them
No.
anymore, are you?
I'm used to riding a bike that's a size large with 29-inch wheels, which is fast. It's definitely going to be faster than this. More chill, I'll get less arm pump, I'll roll out of corners quicker, all of that. But this, when I grew up riding dirt jumps, didn't I? This is like the ultimate overlap.
Oh! That was nice. What? What has happened to you?
Man!
What has happened to you?
See? Brings out the best in me, this thing.
That's insane.
That 360 was dialed actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the
Most dip one I've ever done on a full suspension, but you want to talk
The
more about the
fakie?
fakie.
that looks so natural.
Thanks,
It's like
Ben.
really
Coming from a
off-putting.
fakie master, that means a great deal.
Yeah, of course it does.
Cheers.
Thoughts?
I guess I'll backflip it, clean it,
Yeah,
go to Wales.
yeah, I think that's a
'Cause-
good plan.
I had more fun on that pile of tarmac than I have in my compound in ages, so this is the bike for me. The seat doesn't go with anything, but I like this seat.
Yeah, it's a nice seat.
That marble theme.
It'll go nice on my bike.
It'll go nice on the bike that it's built for, but no one's seen that yet.
On my BMX, I mean, look, it's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We need to sell your BMX, you're a mountain biker now. A backflip I'm least worried about. It feels so poppy and responsive and supportive and playful, this bike. Marin's slogan is made for fun, and this is definitely made for fun, this bike.
Easy. Ah!
Oh well, I still landed 3 in a row, and that makes you a pro. 3 in a row makes you a pro, that's what they say, isn't it? I'd love to find a sport where doing 3 of something actually makes you professional.
Yeah, that'd be really decent. Bowling's probably like that.
Sick, I love that bike.
Very cool.
I don't have to think or change what I do to do all those tricks. Look at some of these front tie marks and fakies. No wonder that one didn't work. It's like a meandering Amazonian river. It led to disaster. I can't do much more than that here, but I had to bring it here to do the tricks, didn't I?
Yeah.
Now I can add them to my quiver, to my arsenal, and take them anywhere. But that's the Slope Duro. Nice one, Brink. They put in the labour to make it actually feel that nice. I just chose the bits. I'm stoked with it. Legends. Right, watch this. Oh no! Oh well.